Hello YouTube, I'm Tim Hayes and welcome to another DVD and Blu-ray update. Last time, I showed off the last of my DVD and Blu-ray buys from 2022. This time it's all of my DVD and Blu-ray buys for 2023 so far. And I usually get more B-grade independently made, like, horror sci-fi movies, but I decided to go back to getting a little bit more mainstream movies, so I got one more mainstream Hollywood movie classic, Irving Berlin's musical There's No Business Like Show Business. Stars Ethel Merman, Donald O'Connor, and the late great Marilyn Monroe. This is from 20th Century Fox, came out in 1954. And let's see, has the movie in a 2.55 by 1 widescreen, 1954 color, 117 minutes. And it's in English, but you also have the option to watch it in Spanish. And then there's English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, Spanish subtitles, and French subtitles. It just has original theatrical trailers and get more Monroe movie trailers as an extra. There's a sticker, like a barcode sticker on the back here. I haven't opened this yet. So let me see if I can just rip this sucker off, which I can't because I always cut my fingernails really short. There we go. This delightful Irving Berlin musical featuring Marilyn Monroe, a stellar cast, and an array of dazzling upbeat production numbers is a showstopper on Blu-ray. Co-starring with Ethel Merman, Donald O'Connor, and Mitzi Gaynor, Marilyn plays an ambitious and beautiful showgirl named Vicky who catches the eye of Tim, a son in the veteran vaudeville family act known as the Five Donahues. But when Vicky steals Tim's heart, his loyalties to his talented clan will be tested, and the show business life will prove to be more surprising and entertaining than anyone thought possible. So, classic Hollywood studio pick, Irving Berlin's musical There's No Business Like Show Business, starring the late great Marilyn Monroe. It's from 20th Century Fox, so this is one that Disney owns now. And now we go back to covering horror, sci-fi, and all different types of B-grade cult movie classics. So recently I bought the Blu-ray of the Warner Archive collection release of the 50s B-grade cult classic Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. And I have the Warner Archive DVD, but I've never watched it, but I did watch this once on the Sven Gulli show. And this runs 66 minutes in black and white, bonus material, trailer not rated, and it's not rated. You get subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. And she's too much for any man. It's impossible not to have fun with this all-time kitsch classic, which, as fans know, is about a very big woman with a very big attitude. The woman is wealthy Nancy Archer, played by Allison Hayes, no relation to me. Fresh from the loony bin and ticked off. Her rat of a husband, William Hudson, has been at play while the cat's been away, putting the moves on Honey Parker, Yvette Vickers, Playboy's Miss July from 1959, and scheming about the day when Nancy's fortune will be theirs. That day will never come, not after Nancy has an alien encounter that zaps her body into overdrive. Soon Nancy's size matches her rage. She'll prove big girls don't cry, they get even. Special features include commentary by Yvette Vickers and film historian Tom Weaver, and then you get the theatrical trailer. It says a Woolner production. And mentions Warner Brothers Pictures. So I don't know if Woolner is just another name for Warner. I'm assuming so, since this was distributed by Warner Brothers and copyrighted by Warner Brothers Entertainment Incorporated. So Attack of the 50-Foot Woman on Blu-ray from Warner Archive Collection. And then one that's recently come out on Ultra HD 4K, but I don't have an Ultra HD TV and player, so I just bought the Blu-ray edition of Dario Argento's Phenomena. This has been put out by Synapse Films. And this has 3 different versions of the movie. It has 2 unrated versions of the movie under the title Phenomena, and then the US cut called Creepers, which is really short. It's cut down to like 83 something minutes, rated R. It stars Jennifer Connelly right before she did the movie Labyrinth. And Jennifer has a few million close friends. She's going to need them all in this 2-disc Blu-ray set of Dario Argento's Phenomena. The young Jennifer Corvino, played by Oscar-winning actress Jennifer Connelly, in one of her first film roles, is sent to a private Swiss academy for girls where a vicious killer is on the loose, brutally murdering students. Jennifer is a gifted girl with the strange ability to communicate with insects. And Dr. McGregor, Donald Pleasance, John Carpenter's Halloween series, and Escape from New York, enlists her to help locate the killer. Jennifer finds herself in a rare murder plot with maggots, mutants, and razor-wielding chimpanzee mayhem. Can she uncover the killer's identity before becoming a victim herself? Daria Nicolodi Tenebrae and Fiore Argento Demons also star in this strange, unique, and gory film from Italy's master of horror Dario Argento. Phenomena also features fantastic soundtrack music from progressive rock favorite Goblin, British heavy metal masters Motorhead and Iron Maiden, and this is really small print, and Sex Gang, or Andy Sex Gang, Bill Wyman, and Simon Boswell. So I guess there's, yeah, Andy Sex Gang, I guess that's the name of another musician. Bill Wyman and Simon Boswell. And you get Phenomena, the 116-minute version. This English-Italian hybrid cut phenomena contains an additional 6 minutes of material not seen in the 110-minute version, completely remixed by Synapse Films to seamlessly integrate the additional Italian audio segments into the feature and remastered in high definition. This version of Phenomena is now available for the first time ever in North America. Multiple optional subtitle selections include English subtitles for the foreign language segments of the hybrid version, and English subtitles for the entire feature, and complete English subtitles for the Italian version of the film. And it looks like this is a Region A locked Blu-ray. But it looks like you get all three versions of the film in high definition, but there's no mention if Creepers is in widescreen or not. I'm assuming since the other two cuts are in a 1.85 widescreen, Creepers is also in 1.85 widescreen. And then the 110-minute cut is the international version of Phenomena. Was released in 1985, contains almost 30 minutes of additional footage not seen in the Creepers US version, completely remastered in high definition, and released for the first time ever on Blu-ray. 2 sound mix options, including the original English 2.0 stereo mix, along with a rare alternate mix containing different sound effects and music cues. Includes optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. Yeah, and it looks like just the 116-minute cut is the only one that gives you the option of watching it in Italian. Blood-curdling special features include Creepers, the 83-minute US release version. Synapse Films is proud to present the US version of Creepers, now available for the first time ever, remastered in high definition 1080p. Oh, it's in 1.66, which is usually the widescreen format that they use in the UK. 1.66 by 1 presentation includes optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, and you get audio commentary track on Phenomena, the 110-minute version, from Argento scholar and author Derek Batelho, who I went to Modesto Junior College with. He took some music classes there. I took the intermediate voice class, a singing class, with him. He didn't stick with it. So now I can see why he got into other things, I guess. And film historian, journalist, and radio television commentator David Del Valle. And then you get Dario Argento's World of Horror documentary, a fascinating look at the early films of director Dario Argento, including Phenomena, Suspiria, Demons, Dawn of the Dead, Inferno, and many more, containing candid interviews and awesome behind-the-scenes footage. Dario Argento's World of Horror gives us a look into the mind of Italy's master of horror and is an essential viewing experience for all Argento fans. Then there's an interview with Andy Sexgang. I can't believe that's somebody's name. And then you get the Phenomena International theatrical trailer, and you get Creepers US theatrical trailer and radio spots. And film was copyrighted in 1984 by DAC Film Rome, all rights reserved. Well, it looks like Synapse has copyrighted the packaging as of 2017. So, Phenomena, the Blu-ray. I thought this was 2 discs. Not getting... I don't know. I think this is a 2-disc set. Yeah, it is. I was not thinking. So, Phenomena. And then we've got a double feature Blu-ray from Severin Films. The Big Sleazy Jack Weiss double feature contains Cryptid Dark Secrets, which was previously available on DVD only from Something Weird Video, and then Death Brings Roses from White Slavery to White Powder, the Losers Get Very Dead. That's a tagline for Death Brings Roses. And Bleeding Skull calls Weiss's film scummy, hilarious, and unnatural. Weiss's films are explorations of everything that really counts in late 1970s American trash. 2 Jack Weiss sleaze-a-thons on Blu-ray for the first time. Perhaps the most bizarre film by New Orleans writer, producer, director Jack Weiss. Mardi Gras Massacre. Cryptid Dark Secrets is 71 minutes of supernatural sleaze. That's according to every 70s movie. Featuring voodoo vengeance, a possessed swamp stripper, and multiple feats of knuckle-headed folk horror, newly remastered from the original negative. And I believe that Something Weird Video had the negatives, but they only did a full screen. They didn't do a widescreen, so now this is an HD and in widescreen. Thought lost for more than 30 years, Death Brings Roses is the Big Easy's auteur's epic of pimps, hookers, mob bosses, double crosses, a stupefying parade of performances by non-professional locals and Henny Youngman. Real-life Hollywood tough guy Scott Brady from the film Johnny Guitar, and Oscar winner Broderick Crawford, All the King's Men, and Hermione Gingold, Gigi, co-star in this French Quarter crime saga that walks a fine line between utter hilarity and bubbling sleaze, according to Bleeding Skull. And now scanned in 2K from Weiss's personal 35mm print. That Jack Weiss made few films will always be one of the injustices of movie history, and that's a quote from Mudman's A-List. Cryptid Dark Secrets is in color from 1976, 71 minutes, while Death Brings Roses is color in 1975, 95 minutes. And this is region ABC, so it's a multi-region disc. And Cryptid Dark Secrets is rated R and is in 1080p full HD resolution and 1.85 widescreen, while Death Brings Roses is not rated and it's in a 1.33 full frame. And audio is English mono. Special features include the talented Miss Ridley, not to be confused with the film The Talented Mr. Ripley. Yeah, The Talented Ms. Ridley is an interview with actress Maureen Ridley. Who plays this pretty swamp witch in Crypto Dark Secrets. And you get the Crypto Dark Secrets trailer. So, Jack Weiss double feature, Crypto Dark Secrets and Death Brings Roses. Double feature from Severin. Yeah, the big sleazy Jack Weiss double feature from Severin. And then it's been a long time coming from Grindhouse releasing, and was previously only available to buy through their website, but now it's on Amazon Prime. Grindhouse releasing presents Death Game. This is one that had been on some of those Mill Creek 50 movie packs, as The Seducers and VCI released it to VHS and DVD as Death Game, but I think they also released a VHS under the Seducers title. But the DVDs and the VHS tapes were all of a widescreen movie cropped to 1.33, and I thought it was originally in a 1.85. Turns out it's 2.39. An intense, uncomfortable film, an exercise in suspense, violence, and degradation, says Roy Frumkes, Hollywood Reporter. Grindhouse Releasing is proud to present the ultimate 1970s psychological thriller. John Cassavetes veteran Seymour Cassell stars as George Manning, a family man whose perfect life is turned into a nightmare of sex and torture when he allows himself to be seduced by two nubile young strangers, Sandra Locke and Colleen Camp, who show up at his door on a rainy night. And this is while his family is away on a trip. It's his birthday weekend, and his wife I thought maybe he had more than one kid, but I think maybe it's just his wife and son are away, get called away. Since I think the father-in-law is having some sort of operation. Special features include a spectacular new 4K restoration created from the original camera negative, provocative, in-depth interviews with cult movie legend Colleen Camp, Game of Death, and Apocalypse Now, and she was also in Clue, and director Peter Traynor, conducted by Eli Roth, who did a remake of this, I believe, called Knock Knock. And then this was a remake of some other film from the 70s that I think Colleen Camp was also in. And additional interviews with co-star Sandra Locke, producer Larry Spiegel, cinematographer, editor David Worth, and screenwriter Michael Ronald Ross. Audio commentaries by Colleen Camp and Eli Roth, and Larry Spiegel and David Worth. Liner notes by esteemed cinema historian David Suckelkin, and extensive still galleries and other surprises. Regions ABC, DTS, HD Master Audio, rated R, color 2.39 by 1 widescreen, 1977, and 87 minutes. It's 2 Blu-rays. So Grindhouse releasing 2 Blu-ray set of Death Game. Yeah, I need need to cover that up. Colleen Camp is a little bit naked. And then one film had a DVD release years ago, which quickly went out of print. I heard it wasn't such good quality, but I watched it on Amazon Prime, and the quality was probably about as good as it would look until Blu-ray was done. It looked grainy. Well, now this film's out on both 4K as well as a separate Blu-ray release, and since I don't have a 4K player, I got the Blu-ray of the 1953 film Invaders from Mars from Ignite Films. And what annoys me is this: it's shrink wrap, and the shrink wrap to the Blu-ray is just taped onto the slipcover. It could happen tomorrow. In the early 1950s, Cold War tensions and the burgeoning space race created a heady mix of paranoia and unbridled creativity as filmmakers speculated as to the marvels and horrors that lay beyond the stars. Among those leading the charge, William Cameron Menzies' Things to Come, Invaders from Mars terrified audiences upon its release in 1953 with its chilling vision of an insidious alien attack on small-town Americana. On a dark and stormy night, a young boy, David McLean, Jimmy Hunt, Pitfall, observes what appears to be a flying saucer crash landing in his town. Shortly thereafter, the grown-ups, including his own parents, begin acting decidedly strangely. Convinced there's a link between this epidemic of bizarre behavior and what he witnessed that night, David turns to the local health official, Dr. Blake, Helena Carter, from the film Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye, for help. But can these two unlikely heroes, together with famed astronomer Dr. Kelston Arthur Franz, the Kane Mutiny, withstand the might of a full-blown invasion from outer space? A landmark in sci-fi cinema, Invaders from Mars inspired filmmakers as wide-ranging as Don Coscarelli, Phantasm, Brad Bird, The Iron Giant, and John Carpenter, The Thing. Now fully restored for its 70th anniversary, this trend-setting Atom Age classic unleashes its spine-tingling terror on a whole new generation of film-goers in this brand new 4K presentation from Ignite Films. Bonus features include brand new 4K restoration of the film, restored from the original camera negative and master positives, restored 4K original 1953 trailer, and a newly commissioned trailer 2022, interviews with star Jimmy Hunt, William Cameron Menzies' biographer James Curtis, and recollections of Menzies' eldest granddaughter Pamela Lawson. Featurette with acclaimed film directors John Landis, Joe Dante, editor Mark Goldblatt, special visual effects artist and two-time Oscar winner Robert Skotak, foremost expert on Invaders from Mars, and enthusiast and film preservationist Scott McQueen. John Sayles, and then you get John Sayles' introduction at Turner Classic Movie Festival in Hollywood from April 2022, and before and after clips of restoration, original negative, and archival film elements, with Film restoration supervisor Scott McQueen restored segments in 2K of the alternate international version. Alternative ending and extended planetarium scene, and then a gallery with original press book pages, behind the scenes photos from the restoration process, a 20-page collector's booklet featuring an extensive essay on the restoration process, Invaders from Mars, A Nightmare of Restoration by Scott McQueen. So that's the name of the extensive essay on the restoration process, Invaders from Mars, A Nightmare Restoration by Scott McQueen. And runtime 73 minutes, aspect ratio 1.37 by 1, year 1953. Languages English, Spanish, and English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, not rated. And Italian, French, German, Portuguese, Japanese, and Korean subtitles. And this movie's in color, even though there's no mention of it being in color. I know it's in color. So the original Invaders from Mars from McKnight Films. And we're going over 30 minutes, almost 32 minutes, so it is late, so let's see if I can't finish tonight. This will be a long one. And next up I have the Blu-ray of Voyage of the Rock Aliens, put out by Vinegar Syndrome. The story of a guy, a girl, and an alien in one night they will always remember. A group of aliens in a guitar-shaped spaceship are on the hunt to find the true source of rock and roll after spotting teenage Dee Dee and her boyfriend Frankie, each of whom are vying to become the top rocker in the small town of Spielberg. The aliens land only to set off an increasingly strange series of events and musical mayhem that threatens the very existence of the town itself. Starring legendary actress and singer Pia Zadora, Butterfly and Hairspray, in what might be the wildest and wackiest role of her career, James Fargo's The Enforcer and Forced Vengeance. Voyage of the Rock Aliens is a nearly unclassifiable smorgasbord made up of one part rock musical, one part sci-fi insanity, and one part 50s kitsch through an 80s glam lens. Never given an authorized disc release in the US, Vinegar Syndrome presents a seminal slice of premium cable nostalgia in its ultimate home video edition, featuring a gorgeous and brand new 2K restoration and jam-packed with comprehensive and newly produced extras. From 1984, it's 96 minutes, color 1.85 widescreen, English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, and it's in stereo. Region ABC Blu-ray. Special features, newly scanned and restored in 2K from its 35mm inner positive, embarking on a voyage, the making of an alien dance rock opera, an extended making of documentary featuring interviews with actor Michael Berryman, executive producer Max Keller, producer Micheline Keller, wardrobe assistant Donza Lee Abernathy, co-screenwriter and co-producer Charles Hairston, special effects artist Dwight Roberts, and miniatures artist Anton Tremblay. And Where Are They Now? Reuniting the band Rima in the 21st Century, an extended featurette with the members of the band Rima. Maybe it's Rema, R-H-E-M-A, Rahema, or maybe it's a silent H and this is Rima. And reversible sleeve artwork, English subtitles for deaf and hard of hearing, directed by James Fargo, starring Pia Sadora, Craig Sheffer, Michael Berryman, Tom Nolan, Ruth Gordon, and Alison LaPlaca. So, Voyage of the Rock Aliens Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome. Then one more from Vinegar Syndrome. This one was put out on DVD by Charles Band, part of his Grindhouse collection series of DVDs, but his DVD was just an upscale, I believe, of the VHS tape release. It was a movie that went straight to VHS, but it was a Charles Band Empire Pictures production, but it was one that just went straight to home video. And then I believe a bunch of those just went straight to home video, since I think Empire Pictures was going out of business, or they just couldn't afford to release their films in theaters. But MGM has most of the original film elements to Empire Pictures, so Vinegar Syndrome got a deal signed with MGM, so they put out the Blu-ray of Mutant Hunt from MGM. Copyrighted in 1987 by Orion Pictures Corporation, which is now owned by MGM. It's part of MGM. Copyrighted in 2022 by Metro Goldwyn Mayer Studios Incorporated, and this isn't rated since it was released straight to home video, but this would probably be an R rating if it ever did get released to theaters. In the near future of 1992, robots have become a facet of everyday life. Dr. Z, the diabolical head of one of the country's top robotics firms, has developed a solution named Euphoron, which, when injected into his cyborgs, transforms them from manservant into impossibly strong and powerful killing machines in an attempt by Dr. Z to take absolute power. Realizing the implications of Z's actions, Chief Robotics Engineer Paul Haynes attempts to stop the robot takeover, only to be kidnapped along with his sister Darla. After achieving a dangerous escape, Darla then enlists the help of tough as grit bounty hunter Matt Riker, and the two begin a quest to destroy the murderous machines. The first in a series of bonkers direct-to-video genre films directed by Tim Kincaid, Breeders and Robot Holocaust, for producer Charles Band's Empire Pictures, and Robot Holocaust was one shown on MST3K. But I've got the Scorpion Ronin Flicks Blu-ray of that, just the non-MST3K version. It was, the first in a series of bonkers direct-to-video genre films directed by Tim Cade for producer Charles Band's Empire Pictures. Mutant Hunt is set in a grimy neo-apocalypse vision of New York City, where robots, mutants, and oppressive government control clash with new wave fashion and sci-fi infused action starring Rick Gianassi, Sergeant Kabuki Man, NYPD. That's one of those Lloyd Kaufman Tromaville movies. And Ron Reynaldi, Spike the Bensonhurst, and Adrienne Lee Slammer Girls. Vinegar Syndrome brings this classic slice of 80s video store weirdness to Blu-ray from a brand new 4K restoration created from its 35mm original camera negative. Additional information newly scanned and restored in 4K from its 35mm original camera negative. Commentary track with film historian Elizabeth Purcell, Mutant Maker, 18 minutes, an interview with special makeup effects artist Ed French. And If You Want Me to Box with a Kangaroo, 56 minutes, an interview with actor Dr. J. Buzz von Ornsteiner. And Long Arm of the Hunt, 24 minutes, an interview with actor Mark Legan, and reversible cover art, and English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. 1987, 77 minutes, color 1.33. So if this were to get matted to a widescreen, it would probably get matted to 1.85. But apparently 1.33 open mat's good enough. And stereo audio English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, region A locked, not rated, Ryan Pictures, MGM. So Mutant Hunt on Blu-ray, licensed to Vinegar Syndrome from MGM. And now I've got a bunch of Blu-rays. I believe I bought most of these off of the Shout Factory website, but one I'm not so sure I did, but it has the slipcover, so I'm wondering, is I thought you had to buy a Blu-ray directly from them to get the slipcover. But I remember buying at least one Blu-ray that had a slipcover, and I thought I had bought it off of Amazon Prime. But most of these I bought directly from Shout Factory, from what I can remember. One was one I overlooked for the longest time. They put out as a Blu-ray DVD combo pack a long time ago, and they streamed this movie as well on Shout Factory TV. It's called Raise the Titanic. Once they said God himself couldn't sink her, now they say no man on earth could raise her. Raise the Titanic. Join the underwater race to salvage the Titanic and its vital defense cargo, adapted from Clive Cussler's international bestseller. The story follows the exploits of American Special Agent Dirk Pitt as he sets out to recover vital material from the Titanic, which could make the U.S. impregnable to atomic attack. The ship is down too deep for divers, and the only solution is to raise it. The incredible project must be managed in absolute secrecy because of deadly interference from a rival nation. The Titanic is finally and majestically brought to the surface, but the vital, rare mineral is missing. A breathtaking adventure from beginning to end. Raise the Titanic stars Jason Robards, Once Upon a Time in the West, Richard Jordan Dune, and David Selby from TV's Dark Shadows. Quentin Collins from TV's Dark Shadows, Anne Archer, Fatal Attraction, and Alec Guinness, Lawrence of Arabia and who was Obi-Wan Kenobi in the original Star Wars trilogy. Yeah, Richard Jordan played Duncan Idaho in the David Lynch film version of Dune. Special features making of Raise the Titanic, and you get the theatrical trailer, and the Blu-ray's 1080p high definition widescreen 2.35, DTS HD Master Audio 5.1, DVD anamorphic widescreen 2.35 by 1, Dolby Digital 5.1, 1980, 114 minutes. It's from ITV Studios. Rated PG. DVD is region 1 locked, while the Blu-ray is region A locked. So Raise the Titanic on DVD and Blu-ray from Shout Factory. Yeah, and this one, I'm not sure if I bought this directly from Shout or if I had bought this off of Amazon Prime. I want to say I bought it directly from them because I think you can only get the slipcovers when you buy directly from them, but I could be wrong. But usually they only give you a certain amount of time to get the slipcover, but I'm guessing this wasn't a big seller because they've had this one out for a while. This is another DVD Blu-ray combo. Devoted fans of Italian giallo genre will get a hoot out of the precision with which the editor satirizes their clumsier conventions, says Variety. Ray Cisco Adam Brooks was once the greatest editor the world had ever seen, since a horrific accident left him with 4 wooden fingers on his right hand. He had to resort to cutting pulp films and trash pictures. When the lead actors from the film he's been editing are murdered, Ray is fingered as the #1 suspect. The bodies continue to pile up in this absurdist giallo thriller as Ray struggles to prove his innocence and learn the sinister truth lurking behind the scenes. Functioning as a straight-up send-up of Dario Argento, Mario Bava, and cinematic sorcerers of the 70s slasher films, Canadian horror comedy, The Editor is a charming tribute to unsung classics of giallo, an Italian subgenre known for its gory and gruesome erotic horror. Special features audio commentary, and then you get Making Movies Used to Be Fun, Making of Documentary, featurettes, deleted scenes, and more. Blu-ray's 1080p high definition widescreen 2.35, and Blu-ray has DTS HD Master English Audio 5.1 as well as DTS HD Master Audio 2.0 English, and English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. I was getting too redundant there, so it's just 2 English audio tracks. And the DVD's anamorphic widescreen 2.35, Dolby Digital 5.1 English, and Dolby Digital 2.0, and English audio and closed captioned in English. 2015 color 95 minutes. The DVD is region 1 locked, and the Blu-ray is region A locked, and this is not rated. So this is part of their Scream Factory line. Even though they don't mention one particular oh yeah, they do. Udo Kier is in this, who was in Andy Warhol's Frankenstein, Flesh for Frankenstein, and bled for Dracula, aka Andy Warhol's Dracula, and he was in Suspiria and Mark of the Devil. So the editor from Shout Factory, part of their Scream Factory Blu-ray line. And now it's mostly double feature Blu-rays I bought directly from Shout Factory. First is a Scream Factory double feature, 2 Roger Corman cult classics. Wheels of Fire, which was previously available on DVD and Blu-ray from Code Red, paired with Raiders of the Sun, which has been missing in action from physical media as far as DVD and Blu-ray goes, but I believe it had a VHS tape release. Post-Apocalypse Now, strap in for a double-barreled trip into the wasteland with this action-packed double feature. In Wheels of Fire, the highway warriors terrorize the last vestiges of humanity, and only the enigmatic wanderer known as Trace Gary Watkins can stop their ruthless reign of terror. And in Raiders of the Sun, a precious source of gunpowder becomes the target of a brutal band of villains, and from the ashes of civilization a new hero must rise up to restore order. And these are 2 films produced and directed by the late, great Cirio H. Santiago, but they're mainly financed by Roger Corman's New Horizons Pictures, which Shout Factory owns most of those films now. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't list any of the extras, but I think Wheels of Fire has all the same extras that the Code Red Blu-ray had. And that's from 1985, high definition widescreen 1.78, and HD mono audio, running time 81 minutes. While Raiders of the Sun is from 1992, high definition widescreen 1.85, and it's mono audio, running time 95 minutes, English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. They're both in color, region A locked. Wheels of Fire is R, and Raiders of the Sun is R. And I read on the Shout Factory website that Raiders of the Sun includes an alternate cut on here that's in standard definition only. I guess maybe a VHS rip. It's funny, they don't mention any of the extras on here. But this is one that's limited to 1,500 copies, only available through the Shout Factory website. And now we go on to another Roger Corman cult classic double feature. The Great Texas Dynamite Chase, starring the late great Playboy Playmate Claudia Jennings, and Eat My Dust, starring Ron Howard. Put the pedal to the metal with a double feature of high octane action. The Great Texas Dynamite Chase, 1976, runs 90 minutes. In the Great Texas Dynamite Chase, Claudia Jennings and Ellie Jo Jocelyn Jones are a pair of bandits who blast their way into banks with a carload of pure TNT. This is also called the Dynamite Women. When they take Slim Johnny Crawford hostage, they ignite a fun-fueled crime spree across the great state of Texas. They don't list any extras for the Great Texas Dynamite Chase, but I'm assuming this has the trailer for it. It's supposed to have the trailer. I know the DVD just had the trailer, but the DVD was on a 2-disc set where it was on a DVD by itself, and then the second disc had 2 other movies that weren't paired with it. And Eat My Dust was originally paired with Grand Theft Auto on DVD. And Eat My Dust is from 1976, runs 89 minutes. Ron Howard pops the clutch and tells Smokey to eat my dust. Hoover, played by Ron Howard, is seriously into Darlene, and Darlene is seriously into fast cars, so Hoover steals a red-hot race car for the ultimate joyride, a screaming, squealing, shattering smash-a-thon. Special features include an interview with actor Ron Howard, how to crash a dime, the making of Eat My Dust, Leonard Maltin's interview with Roger Corman and the Illustrated Man, an interview with Corman poster artist John Soley, and the theatrical trailer. Great Texas Dynamite Chase is rated R, while Eat My Dust is rated PG, and these are both in 1080p high definition widescreen 1.85 color region A locked in English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, and DTS HD master audio mono. Special features aren't rated. And I read online that the Great Texas Dynamite Chase is restored in 2K from its original camera negative, while Eat My Dust is from a 4K restoration, I believe, from the original camera negative. And this is another one that's limited to 1,500 copies, which unfortunately, since they didn't make much money off these Corman films originally, they have to do most of them as limited runs. It's the only way they can even break even. But luckily with some films like Piranha, they actually made money off of. And I believe they want to remake all the Roger Corman movies, and they've remade Slumber Party Massacre so far. But I heard that remake is not that good, so I recommend seeing the original. So, Shout Factory double feature, The Great Texas Dynamite Chase, and Eat My Dust, limited to 1,500 copies through the Shout Factory website. And now another Shout Factory Scream Factory double feature. It's 2 more Roger Corman productions. Well, I've got another pair in there as well. Strip to Kill, which was previously available on Blu-ray and DVD from Scorpion Releasing. So Scream Factory reveals a spectacular pair of sexy thrillers that will leave you breathless. Strip to Kill. In Strip to Kill, a series of brutal slayings connected to a Los Angeles gentleman's club finds Detective Cody Sheehan, Kay Len's house in Midnight Color, going undercover and uncovered to solve the case and bring the maniac behind it to justice. The seductive thriller also stars Craig Evigan, BJ and the Bear, and Norman Fell from TV's Three's Company. Yeah, Mr. Roper has a strip club in this movie. Special features audio commentary with director Kat Shia, so it's lady director, and star Kay Lenz, then bonus audio commentary with Kat Shia and on-camera interviews with Kat Shia and Roger Corman and the original trailer. And then Final Judgment, The Dance of Death continues with Final Judgment. Father Daniel Tyrone Brad Dourif, a former gang member who became a maverick priest, carries a big gun and a bad attitude as he works his inner city parish. When a beautiful stripper is murdered, Father Tyrone's colorful past makes him the prime suspect. Determined to avenge her death and exonerate himself, Tyrone takes to Hollywood's seedy underbelly to solve the murder. Isaac Hayes, Escape from New York, who was also the voice of Chef on TV South Park, he's passed on, and this stars also the late great Karen Black from the film Burnt Offerings. So co-starring Isaac Hayes and Karen Black. Strip to Kill is from 1987, 1080p, high definition widescreen, 1.85 English DTS HD, master audio stereo, runs approximately 88 minutes. Final Judgment is from 1992, high definition widescreen, 1.85, and it's also in stereo and runs 90 minutes. And it looks like there's English subtitles for both movies, and both films are rated R and region A locked. And it's another limited edition, 1,500 copies from the Shout Factory website. So Roger Corman produced thrillers Strip to Kill and Final Judgment Scream Factory double feature. And then another limited edition double feature. These ones aren't, this two pair isn't Roger Corman. And this was a blind buy, but I believe that these are two movies that Shout Factory owns, but I guess even though a lot of these movies they seem to own now, they don't want to take the risk of giving them a wide release, so another website exclusive limited to 1,500 copies. Escape to Athena and March or Die. And in Escape to Athena, the Patriot, the Professor, the Comic, and the Stripper were fighting for what they believed in, getting rich. Escape to Athena, and then March or Die, which stars Terence Hill, Gene Hackman, and Max von Sydow. So, adventure and all-star casts await you in this action-packed double feature. Escape to Athena from 1979 runs 120 minutes. In Escape to Athena, a German-occupied Greek island in 1944 is the setting for adventure and comedy as a group of Allied prisoners strike back against their captors and try to get rich in the process. Roger Moore, Telly Savalas, David Niven, Stephanie Powers, and Richard Roundtree and Elliot Gould lead an impressive and eclectic cast. And special features, interviews with actors Elliot Gould, Roger Corman, Sonny Bono, Claudia Cardinale, Stephanie Powers, Telly Savalas, Anthony Valentine, director George P. Cosmatos, and producers Jack Weiner and David Niven Jr. And you get the trailer. And then March or Dies from 1979 and runs 107 minutes. Join the French Foreign Legion in March or Die, in which a troubled American commander is sent on a dual mission to establish the Legion's authority in Morocco. To escape a group of archaeologists to escort a group of archaeologists in search of an ancient city buried by a sandstorm thousands of years prior. Gene Hackman, Max von Sydow, Ian Holm, and Catherine Deneuve, or Catherine Deneuve, star. An escape to Athena's in 1080p high-definition widescreen 2.35, while March or Dies in 1080p high-definition widescreen of 1.85, and the both HD master audio mono and English subtitles, region A locked, and rated PG, and both are in color, and they're from ITV Studios. Special features not rated. So this is limited to 1,500 copies from the Shop Factory website. It's another double feature. So a couple action flicks. And then one more Scream Factory double feature. It's another pair of Roger Corman films, Dance with Death and Dance of the Damned. Tagline from Dance with Death: he's seen them dancing naked, and now he'll see them dead. And Dance of the Damned, vampire flick. I believe Dance with Death is a remake of Strip to Kill. Yeah, Dance Until You Drop with a pair of steamy thrillers, and in Dance with Death, in order to investigate a serial killer stalking the dancers at a strip club, a society reporter must go to the darkest places her journalistic career has ever taken her. So it's, instead of it being a female cop going undercover as a stripper, it's a really clean-cut, conservative female reporter doing it. Stars Barbara Allen Woods, One Tree Hill, Maxwell Caulfield, Grease 2 and Empire Records, and Martin Mull from the film Clue star in Dance with Death. And then Dance of the Damned, director and screenwriter Kat Shea Poison Ivy keeps the beat going with Dance of the Damned, a sensual and supernatural tale of a vampire drawn to Jody, a suicidal dancer. So it's another stripper flick, but this one's involves a vampire. Together they cross the unspeakable boundaries that separate the living and the undead. Dance with Death is from 1992, 1080p high definition widescreen 1.85, runs 90 minutes, and it's a mono audio. And then Dance of the Damned is from 1989, high definition widescreen 1.85, and it's in stereo at 82 minutes, which surprises me because I think they were able to go back to the original camera negatives for Dance with Death. Well, Dance of the Damned, I think they had to stick with the film print. And English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, and both films are rated R. And region A locked, so it's two more Roger Corman produced cult classics, part of the Scream Factory line, but in a Website exclusive, limited to 1,500 copies. Dance with Death and Dance of the Damned. And we are going a little over 70 minutes, so I need to finish up. So since I had gotten a bunch of double feature discs, I did something else that's somewhat of a double feature, and you'll see. I bought the old Image Entertainment DVD of Caligula starring Malcolm McDowell, and this is of the R-rated cut since I'm not into porn. And this was never supposed to be a porno movie to begin with. And it was used copy, so this had like a barcode sticker on there, and that just tore it. So this is the shorter cut. Before Rome, Before Gladiator, the most controversial film of all time as you've never experienced it before, combining lavish spectacle and top award-winning stars. This landmark production is now presented in beautiful new high-definition transfer from recently uncovered negative elements. Ooh. From the moment he ascends to the throne as emperor, Caligula, A Clockwork Orange's Malcolm McDowell, enforces a reign like no other, as power and corruption transform him into a deranged beast whose deeds still live on as some of the most depraved in history. Also starring Peter O'Toole, Lawrence of Arabia, and Academy Award winners Helen Mirren, the Queen, John Gielgud, Arthur. This unflinching look at decadence of ancient Rome will startle and amaze you like no other film ever made. Helen Mirren was Best Actress 2006, while John Gielgud was Best Supporting Actor in 1981. So Bob Guccione and Penthouse Films International present Malcolm McDowell, Teresa Ann Savoy, Helen Mirren, and Peter O'Toole in Caligula. Bob Guccione. I think he spent twice the budget that George Lucas had spent on Star Wars, and bought these big old movie sets, but then after the actual director had shot most of the main photography, went back and shot a bunch of hardcore porn, but this one doesn't have that footage in it. And this is copyrighted 1979, that's when it came out in Europe, but I don't think it got released in the States till 1980. And the DVD's copyrighted in 2007 by General Media Entertainment, which I believe that's just, I think that's the same as Image Entertainment, distributed by Image Entertainment. And Dolby Digital 5.0 surround and 2.0 stereo, color 102 minutes, so it's not quite 2 hours, an hour and 42 minutes, rated R, supplemental materials not rated. Caligula is presented in its 2.00 by 1 theatrical ratio, enhanced for 16 by 9 TVs, and from what I understood this was in 1.85, so I don't know. I'll need to watch this. Nothing special on the inside, just the DVD. So, the original R-rated cut of Caligula from Image Entertainment, I believe, out of print. And they're not even called Image Entertainment anymore. got some other names now. I think RJE Films is what they're called now. So Caligula, and you'll see why this will turn into a double feature, because in recent years there had been a bootleg going around, a bootleg DVD, well, maybe more than one, of a film called Caligula the Untold Story, also called Caligula 2 the Untold Story. Not that the 1979 film had a real sequel, but Italian filmmaker Joe D'Amato had decided to cash in on the 1979 film and make his own version of Caligula, called Caligula the Untold Story, also called Caligula 2. And this is I believe a 2-disc Blu-ray set. From Severin, and you also get the soundtrack CD. And this is one of those films where, even though the original Caligula was in theaters, this film played in theaters in Italy, but then when it came to its US release, it went straight to VHS home video. But now it's out on Blu-ray and from actual film elements. Spectacular, a movie more disturbing than the Guccione Brass Production Film Critics United. Worldwide Blu-ray premiere of the extreme Italian version and US cut, plus the bonus soundtrack CD. Only legendary Maestro di Sleaze Joe D'Amato, Emmanuel in America, and Absurd could outdo the original Caligula for twisted sex, maniacal violence, and eye-popping perversion. David Brandon, Beyond Darkness and Stage Fright, stars as the insane young emperor whose love of brutality and degradation is surpassed only by his hunger for enslaved virgins, cruel vengeance, and extreme acts of horseplay and beyond. Laura Gempser, Black Emmanuel, and Gabriele Tinti, Endgame, who was the late husband of Laura Gempser, and then Charles Borromel, Absurd, and future director Michael the Cemetery Man star in this epic orgiastic excess written by D'Amato and Luigi Montefiore. George Eastman, that's his American pseudonym, Anthropophagus, with lavish score by Carlo Maria Cordi, shocking dark, presented in both the explicit Italian version and the US release, scanned in 2K from the original negatives, with depraved new special features, degeneracy and madness as sleazy and graphic as Caligula. David Brandon is mesmerizing. Horror news. Special features include the Orgy of Power interview with David Brandon, and a false true story interview with screenwriter Luigi Montefiore, and good old-fashioned Loverboy interview with actor Mark Shannon, and oh boy. Yeah, I heard that guy, he's more than just your typical Italian B-movie actor. That guy is a porn star. And then you get deleted scenes and the UK video trailer and bonus disc. And this is in color, 1982. Extended Italian cut is 121 minutes, and I think that's pretty much porn film, so I'm not watching that. And then the unrated US cut's 95 minutes. So 1080p, 1.85 by 1 widescreen, region ABC, and English subtitles for deaf and hard of hearing, English mono on the US cut, and Italian mono on the extended Italian cut. But I think US cut would be rated R if this had ever gotten into theaters, or it might have gotten, it could have gotten an X, but it wouldn't. The US cut, I don't think was anything, it wasn't hardcore. So, this is probably the longest DVD and Blu-ray update I've ever done because it's been so long. Almost as long as a movie, it's a little B movie itself, so let me recap. So for my first DVD and Blu-ray buys of 2023, I bought the 20th Century Fox Blu-ray of Irving Berlin's There's No Business Like Show Business, starring Marilyn Monroe. And I bought the Warner Archive Blu-ray of Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. Then I'd bought the Synapse Films 2-disc Blu-ray set of Dario Argento's Phenomena. And I bought the Severin Blu-ray, the Big Sleazy Jack Weiss double feature, Crypto Dark Secrets, and Death Brings Roses. And then I'd bought Grindhouse releasing 2-disc Blu-ray set of Death Game, also known as the Seducers. And then I bought the Blu-ray of Ignite Films, the Ignite Films Blu-ray edition of the 1953 drive-in sci-fi horror film Invaders from Mars. And then 2 from Vinegar Syndrome, the Blu-ray of Voyage of the Rock Aliens. It's a mid-80s cult classic. And then one they got from MGM, Charles Band production that went straight to home video in the 80s, Mutant Hunt. And then a bunch from Shout Factory. The DVD Blu-ray combo pack of Raise the Titanic from 1980. And then the DVD Blu-ray combo pack of the Canadian film from 2015. That's a parody of Italian giallo films, or comedy based on Italian giallo films. The Editor. And then we go into a bunch of limited edition Blu-ray double features I bought directly from Shout. Scream Factory Roger Corman double feature Wheels of Fire and Raiders of the Sun. And just a Shout Factory Roger Corman double feature of The Great Texas Dynamite Chase and Eat My Dust. and Scream Factory Roger Corman double feature of Strip to Kill and Final Judgment. And then non-Roger Corman double feature from Shout Factory, Escape to Athena and March or Die, just a couple action flicks from the late 1970s. And then one more Shout Factory Corman Corman Scream Factory double feature, Dance with Death and Dance of the Damned. And then my last two DVD and Blu-ray buys from so far for 2023, the Image Entertainment DVD of the R-rated cut of Caligula, starring Malcolm McDowell, which became a double feature in itself since I bought the Severin Blu-ray of the second Caligula movie, Caligula 2, also known as Caligula the Untold Story. Filmed by Joe D'Amato, starring David Brandon and Laura Gempser, Black Emmanuel. And this includes CD soundtrack. So, even though this is a DVD and Blu-ray update, you'll see I still have a bunch of action figures behind me and a Star Wars Mandalorian Cantina playset diorama, along with Indiana Jones and Marion from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and a couple of monsters. And I have some Star Wars figures unopened, but that I will save for a separate video, since this video has been just a long update video, all of my 2023 physical media buys so far for 2023 DVD and Blu-rays. So I'm Tim, and thanks for watching my DVD and Blu-ray update. Keep an eye out for another update video coming soon, and keep an eye out for some of my Star Wars toy collecting videos. I'm bringing those back soon. Again, thank you for watching.